Round 2, eh? Round 2 for the podcast. Oh, the first one was online, and in person, so you got the cameras going.
I know, it's all a bit...
Nah, I appreciate it, mate. So when we spoke last, I think you had one business.
Yes.
And now you've got two. So what sort of happened between when we spoke last to now?
Well, so it's actually three.
Three businesses. Jeez. All right.
All right. So we had an opportunity. We had a couple of big projects coming up, and we needed boards, and we couldn't buy them and build them new quick enough. So I hunted around and see whether it was a business we could acquire, and message sign hire come up. And just out of the blue, I rang the owner because I know him well. Had a chat with him one night. Was on the phone for about an hour, and he gave me a figure. And I said to him, "Sold. We'll take it."
That easy.
That easy. And
I wish most acquisitions were that
easy. So I went and I rang my business partner, and I said, "I've just committed to this." And he goes, "You haven't even looked at anything, mate. I've committed to it. We're going to do it. I know what stock they've got. I trust the guy. I believe him. It's all on face value. I know that the stock value is pretty much what we're paying, so it doesn't matter what revenue or what customers, whatever, everything else is a bonus." He goes, "How are we going to do it?" I go, "Tomorrow morning we're driving up there. We'll just sign a basic contract. We'll write one up. We'll sign it, and then we'll get solicitors involved and all the rest of it." So basically that took about a month.
Let's actually break that down a little bit, because a lot of people probably haven't bought a rental business before. So when you agree terms with somebody, like, what is the actual process to buy?
So we bought it as an asset. We didn't buy the business as a going concern. So we basically bought all the assets,
okay,
the client list, the contracts, and the name, and the IP, but not the ABN.
Okay.
So then basically all their liabilities, all the whatever taxes and whatever debts they had owing to whoever is their problem. Mm-hmm. And we just walk in, they walk out, we take everything over.
And you don't take their brand?
No, I took their brand. All the IP.
So you got all the IP, all the brand, and all the assets, basically.
So websites, email addresses, phone numbers, customers, staff. So took on their staff as well. I had one staff member, so we took him on. He's doing really well. He's still with us. Yes.
And then what happened? So you agree terms. You're buying the assets and everything. Like, what's the process for getting a contract? Do you have to go to a solicitor first? Is there a template? Like, how?
They've got their solicitors. We've got ours. Well, we agreed on the price. Everything else, sort of just everything works around that.
Sure. Just
settlement terms and whatever finance they had outstanding on the assets and whatever. So we did it. We paid over 3 months. So you pay the initial finance out first, and then whatever the cash portion was, you just pay that over time, or it's whatever deal you can do.
And so all the assets that have finance agreements on there, do they transfer to your name, or do you buy them out?
You just refinance.
Okay.
So you buy them out.
So you got your own brokers or whatever.
Yeah, we got our own broker. Okay. He does everything for us. So he played a very big role in this. Gino did heaps to get this deal across the line. Also, our solicitor at the time as well did a heap to make this happen, because it got a bit sticky towards the last week.
So what was the reason for wanting to buy the business? Where you just wanted to add more fleet?
I didn't need the customers. I needed the asset. I mean, you get both, but we needed the asset. I had a massive Vic Roads contract coming up. I needed to supply about 40 boards for 2 years, and I had 10.
Okay.
So we bought, I think in that business there was 80 assets that we bought. The majority we kept, some we sold off, but the majority, all the message boards we kept. It sort of helped us fill contracts that we had.
Yeah, and you didn't take their land. You just brought their assets into your location, or you kept?
We took over the lease, their property in Carrum. So now we've got 3 sites, but at that time we had Point Cook and Carrum Downs. So we could do both west and southeast. And it always seems to be something that the customers ask you. There is a lot of traffic customers in the southeast, and they always want to know that you're near them. It makes no difference where I'm delivering the message board from, and whether it's coming from Adelaide or not, it doesn't matter. You don't know where it's coming from.
As long as you deliver it on time, then
that's right.
That's all it really
matters.
But
for some unknown reason, in people's eyes, you need to be near them.
They just want comfort.
They never come and pick it up from you. You're always delivering it, but they still want you to be close.
Yeah. Well, I was talking about being close. I was talking to RPM Hire, and they were managing the logistics for their Sydney location, Ingleburn, from Melbourne.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, with traffic, like, a lot of it is like, it's very rare that anyone picks this stuff up here.
Yeah, no, they don't. Yeah, I couldn't even give you a number, but hardly ever do people come and pick up message boards, or you try and push them not to.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's easier for you. You've always got something somewhere where you can just move from job to job, or give it a quick wash. And
So you got the business,
Yeah.
you got the assets, moving into the premises. What's the steps then?
yeah, so look, we employed Steve as a full-time employee, which was their employee.
Mm-hmm.
Steve's amazing. He's ex-military, so he's very regimented. Mate, I trust him like I trust anyone else. He basically runs his own show up there. He only calls when he needs something. So yeah, that's working really well and has been. It's worked great. So then we took on Message Sign. About 6 months after that, I decided that I wanted to have a crack at a general hire business, and I found one in Keilor at the time. And I went and spent a bit of time with him and made him an offer, and he shook my hand and he said, "Yep, it's yours."
I think some of these big hire companies are going to talk to you about your negotiation tactics, mate.
They all want to know about my negotiation tactics.
It takes them like 6 months to get a deal done, and you just walk in and shake someone's hand.
Make it for yourself, man. It's not hard. So then he rang me the next day and he said to me, "Nah, the price that he initially asked for was over the top." And I went back. I didn't lowball him. I met him in between. And he initially said yes, and the next he went home and spoke to his wife, and he came back the next day. He goes, no deal, that was the price. I said, well, I'm not giving you that. I'm not paying you $500,000 over the odds just because you feel that's what your
Is
business
that because he thought the assets were worth more, or the customer
he
base?
felt his business was worth that. No. Actually, what it was that's what he needed to get out.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what you need to get out. It's worth X, and if I'm going to give you a little bit more, but I'm not going to give you
Sure.
that. So then I sort of cracked it with him. I said, mate, you know what? When you become realistic, ring me. I'm not playing that game. So I went on a bit of a rampage that day, and looking up hire business was for sale, and I found another one. So I found CitiWest Rentals for.
Oh, so you didn't even buy that company?
So I found
Wow.
So I found CitiWest Rentals in Williamstown, and the ad said something along the lines of hire business Williamstown location for sale, and I worked out that it could have only been CitiWest. So the next morning I drove straight in there, introduced myself to the
Are you
bloke.
telling me that you were buying one business and then you called another business and the next day you tried to buy that business?
Yeah.
People are trying to make sales and they can't, and you're going and just buying a business. Wait. So, look, talk me through how you cold call someone and just tell them that you want to buy their business.
You just walk in and you just look them straight in the eyes and say, mate, are you for sale? It's not hard.
Wow, that's amazing.
And I said to him, and he goes, you just give me a minute. He didn't want to talk in front of his staff. And he goes, I'll come outside. And he goes, yeah, we're for sale. Blah, blah, blah. And I looked at what he was asking, and I just did a quick walk around and sort of worked out what the value of the assets was, and come back to him and said, look, man, you're about 100 over, but I'll give you what you want. I need this done by the 1st of March. Can we do it?
And when are we talking now? What's the period?
It was first week of Feb.
Okay.
And he goes, I haven't got any contracts yet, haven't got any section, whatever the terms, I can't remember what it was. Haven't got any documents, haven't got a P&L, haven't done a tax return in 2 years. You know what, that's your problem, I don't care. I'll get my solicitor to draw up a contract, and we need to do this, and we need to do it 1st of March. So yeah, back and forth, we got it done. Same sort of deal, we paid out all his finance on the equipment, and then we paid him over 4 months for the balance.
Do you get nervous when you do these sort of things? Do you get nervous about the risk that you're taking, or is it just like roll the punches?
There's a lot of risk. Even now, there's a heap of risk sitting there, mate. I don't care. It is what it is. It works. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Yeah. What are you going to do? I'm not going to lose sleep over it.
Yeah.
I know, as cocky as this may sound, I think I'm pretty good at what I do. So if it doesn't work this time, it'll work next time.
Yeah. Well, what's the saying? It's like, you're not going to grow if you don't have debt.
Oh yeah, as well. You got to be willing to take a risk and take a chance. No one's going to give it to you. No one gave me anything.
Yeah. So general rental operation, that's really the first, you're moving out from the specialty
Yes,
locations.
I started in general hire. My first job at Kennards was I was a driver at Kennards, South Melbourne.
Yeah, but I mean in your businesses, so you were in the specialty side.
Yes, correct.
Yep. And then you went into that. So now you've got more of a pretty large suite of equipment now.
Yeah, and it sort of complements, because now we can be that one-stop shop. We can, our road construction guys can come and hire a demo saw, can come and hire a road saw, a jackhammer, a small excavator to break up a footpath, whatever. We can supply all that stuff. Cherry picker, scissor lifts, toilets.
Yeah. And so when I walk into one of these locations, am I who am I dealing with? Is it Mr. Traffic Hire or is it who
No,
am
so
I?
it's all branded now CitiWest Rentals, and it's a company of Mr. Traffic Hire.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So I mean, what is it? 2 years? You went from not having a company, and now you've got 3 businesses that you've acquired in that period of time.
Yeah, pretty much.
How does that make you feel?
That feels good.
That's crazy, yeah. Like,
It's good. It's good. Mate, it's a good journey. It's been, yeah, you never would have thought in 4 years I'd be here.
nah.
You know, COVID broke a lot of people, but COVID also helped a lot of people. I.e., our industry is flying because of COVID.
Yeah.
I won't say just me, because everybody around me is.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, there's one positive that's come out of that disaster.
Yeah, well, I think you're slowly seeing even like when recessions happen or when markets downturn, like the rental industry is one of the ones that really sticks through the rough bit
Yeah.
because people go, we can't spend large amounts of capital anymore, so we want to start renting to
Correct.
cover it, and then they realize how good the rental option is, and they continue renting.
Spot on.
Yeah,
It needs to be rocky roads out there at the moment. I don't know. I'm confident that we will be okay, but you know, most hire companies should be okay. But what's happening with builders and construction, and it's scary. Thankfully I'm not in that position. I've got a strong team. I've got really good guys working with me. I've got a very good team. I've got a very a great group of contractors that we use daily. You know, and there's a really good relationship there, and everybody looks after each other. So where I'm coming from, life's good, but it's not like that everywhere.
What do you think's driving that?
I got no idea.
It's weird, isn't it? Like, yeah. Well, even me, I'm trying to build a house at the moment. It's been like 4 years. It's half of it's my fault. I went overseas and has told the builder just to park it, which they were fine with. But they're probably not too happy because all the prices have gone up. But I'm on a fixed contract, so
Yeah, okay.
they're got my labs the slab put down the other day. So finally, you can actually see something sort of coming up, which is exciting. It's out of people got obviously. There's a Box Hill in Victoria, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, so I live in Box Hill in Sydney.
Yes.
Which is quite confusing. So, that's cool, man. That's exciting. So I want to unpack this buying businesses because...
Swap your credit card, mate.
that's how you treat it. It's quite amazing. But so is your goal just to keep getting bigger and bigger, or to
I've got a target.
diversify? Like what's the
There's a number
goal
I want to get to, just purely for me. I don't need to. We can just keep going the way we're going now. Life's good. We can just keep running it and whatever. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with growing if you can. If the need's there, why not?
Yeah.
We'll keep buying more equipment. You know, I've got another 10 utes coming next month. I've got 5 trucks coming over the next 3 months. Trucks are really hard to get. Utes are really hard to get, but we've just got a constant order of 10 utes. And when they come, the dealer asks us if we need them, and we haven't said no yet. So I've got 10 more utes coming next month. I've got 5 trucks. I've got 3 pod trucks and 2 tippers coming. I've got scissor lifts coming at the end of the year. Can't even remember.
Is that
what
for
else
your
it
general
is.
rental branch?
Yeah.
Did you hear? I had a podcast with Greg Parfitt at Orange Hire.
No, I haven't heard that one.
And he was talking about in the early 90s, he was getting the same weekly rate for a scissor lift that it is today.
Wow.
That's scary, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, well.
That is scary.
Okay. Well, it's funny if you want to talk about that. So message boards, for example, I remember when we first started doing message board at Kennards in 2007, 2008, we were getting $150 a day. Now the average, if you're good at what you do, the average is about 50. Which is still good money, you'll take that. If you're, part of these bottom feeder companies that just do things cheap, for what reason I don't know, you might get it as cheap as $23 a day.
20? Like what?
I would never waste my time. I'm at 50 and I've got a board available. That's a fleet of 200 message boards.
You're going to tell me they're throwing in transport as well?
In Adelaide, there's one certain company that does, yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, nuts.
How?
Stupidity.
Like what's the ROI on the asset?
About 15 years.
What the hell? That's jeez. That just doesn't make sense, does it? Like, what's the
But
point?
look, everyone's got different ideas of how they make money. To them, maybe they think that they are making money.
Yeah.
Maybe they see the turnover coming
that
through.
rental rate, that rental rate isn't meant to be paying off just the asset. It's paying for the business, the operations. So like $23 a day, I'm not really sure like what they think's going to.
Well, even if your asset is fully paid off, who cares? You know, it doesn't change anything.
Yeah. You still got to run the business.
Yeah, you want to make money, or you're here just to do turnover. Essentially, all these people are doing is turning it over.
Yeah. But even if it is fully paid off, you would think that you would then take that opportunity to sell or use a bit of gear and get some new and keep your fleet upgraded.
See, with
as well.
message boards, it's a bit different. Like as long as you keep maintaining a message board, it's not like a light tower or a diesel engine that does hours, or a vehicle that does kilometres. You know, Ute does 300,000 k's, it's clapped out. See you later, we'll get rid of it. A message board, you give it a coat of paint, you update the LEDs, you change a few things, put some new batteries in it. Doesn't matter if it's 15 years old.
Yeah.
It still does the same job.
What's the oldest one you've seen?
In my fleet, I reckon I've got some 2005s.
Okay.
Because we haven't always bought new gear.
But isn't there like new technology involved in a lot of the new
You
ones?
update the technology.
Oh, so you can just plug that in and
Big
sort
deal.
of...
You change the panels, you change the controller. It's not... And you're constantly doing that anyway, because every time something breaks down on it or something goes wrong with the controller, you're taking it back to the manufacturer. They're updating the module. They're updating the controller. They're charging you for that. So you've constantly got the current firmware or software or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm talking about. You'd want to keep that latest sort of trend coming through. Because, like, is it a thing where you need to have certain types of compliance for contracts?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100% there is. But it's not hard to do with message boards.
Yeah. So what's some other new gear that you've got into the hire business that you haven't really done before?
So we're doing just traffic utes, just plain traffic utes with cages and arrow boards. We've now started doing traffic utes with VMS boards on the back. So sort of adds an extra 15 grand to the build. However, your return on investment ends up being the same. You just, you charge that extra $150 a week, wherever it's at, and your return on investment's the same. You've just now got something different that you're offering to the market that people want. We did the same with bollard trucks. We've started putting message boards on the back of bollard trucks. It takes your bollard truck from a $60,000 asset to an $85,000 asset, but so long as you can get that back in your return.
And so it sounds like part of your success has come from the team that you've got within the businesses as well.
Oh, it helps, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, they play a big part. They play a big part in managing day to day and making sure everything runs smoothly and sort of allowing me just to be off doing whatever.
Because something I've noticed with you, like I've obviously worked with a lot of like owners of small hire companies over the years, and I see two types of people. I see the one where they're working 60, 70, 80-hour weeks, and they're literally washing down the equipment and doing this and trying to like do everything basically, and they don't really have time to work on the business. And then you got the other type that is like, I think Luke Gillen's a great example. Like he's really good at stepping back and letting other people sort of do stuff and have more strategy. And you seem to have that, to take a step back and not micromanage and let things grow a little bit more and think more strategic.
Hasn't always been like that. Yeah, it hasn't always been like that. For the first probably 2.5 years, I was out there every day delivering message boards. I did all that. I've done it. I did it with other businesses. I did it with my own business. I'll still do it today if I have to.
Yeah.
But if I don't have to, why would I?
Yeah, and so when did that change happen? Was it a revenue thing, or was it a people thing, or was it a customer thing?
We sort of got to a point where we said, you know what, there's a bit of extra money coming in now, let's put on an extra person, take a bit of load off us. Let's put an extra 2 people on. It means we don't have to do the running around anymore. We'll pay someone to do it.
Yeah.
And then we can enjoy life. I worked hard enough.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't like. It's good that you take that route because a lot of people they just think they need to grind constantly,
yeah,
and you sort of run out of energy. Yeah,
Mate, there's a lot of things, and again, I'll thank Kennards for a lot of this because I learned so much. And just something basic like I managed Kennards South Melbourne. It was one of the smallest sites they had. It was 1,000 square metres, and so one thing that used to go out regularly was trailers, and it was because around South Melbourne, Port Melbourne, people had very small houses, no driveways. Park out the front of the street. You couldn't own a trailer. And me having old school mentality was, why the hell would you come and pay $60 to hire a trailer? You could just buy one for $1,000 and leave it at home. That was old school mentality. But then saying, you know what, I need it for 4 hours, I come and take it, I do my job, I drop it back off, it's not my problem anymore. Big deal, I've paid $60, but that's convenience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that, and I've taken that sort of theory and just used it with everything I do. I'm not going to sit at home and paint my house. Well, the painter's got to be paid too, he needs to eat, first of all. And second of all, there's other things I could be doing. I could be working on my business, pay the painter or however much to paint my house, whilst I'm still making more doing what I'm good at. But a lot of people don't see it like that. They'd rather be home painting on a Sunday than out with the family.
Yeah.
I'd rather be enjoying myself on a Sunday.
Talking about that switch over from buying to renting Bunnings. So I noticed that Coates have partnered with Bunnings to do some stuff. And if you look at the Home Depot model in the US, like I think they're the fourth largest or third largest rental business in the US now, just by sheer size. Yeah. Bunnings definitely haven't got that formula. Like I walked into a Bunnings the other day, and like the higher shop section was pretty average in itself. But like, you reckon that's an opportunity for the market to grow even more, to educate? Because like the amount of stores that they have and the education they could have, like if they could educate just the normal person around the opportunities to rent, that might even add more cash customers to the market.
Well, if you're talking about the Bunnings model, it's hard for the average person that doesn't think that way. He would rather go and buy that Ozito power saw to do his job, and he might use that 5 times. Yeah. It'll cost him that much to hire it, or it'll cost him that much to buy just a crappy brand that for home use is probably okay. And he might get 5 uses out of it. So he might as well go and buy the saw. He's not going to go and hire it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's an education thing, but
yeah, it is. And most people they're not wired that way. Most people are like, well, I'm not going to spend $60 to hire a saw for a day when I can buy one for $60. I don't see it that way.
Yeah,
I'll get someone to come and cut it for me because I've got better things I could be doing.
You know what I think? Now we're talking about Bunnings, but you know what I think they need to do? Like, hopefully they're listening to this so they can take a page out of it. Like they need to have like people that understand rental working in the Bunnings stores. Because
that's not only Bunnings, man. That's a lot of higher places. But you know what? Don't tell them, because then they'll actually get good at what they do. They'll challenge me in what I do.
But it's pretty simple, yeah. Like you can't have someone that's like selling timber one day and then doing bolts and screws the next day and then paint the next day, and then they're expected to like rent something to somebody.
What we're talking about is so basic, but it's so hard for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You just throw someone in and you say, well, you're a hire controller. You know what you're doing. You don't. The majority don't. Yeah, you can count the good people in this industry on one hand.
What do you, to counteract that, how do you manage your onboarding then? Like, what's your typical process? Are you trying to look for people that have industry experience? Are you putting them through a certain way of training?
I've got, and again, not blowing my own trumpet. Everyone that works with me and is working for me, I don't say for me, working with me, because it's part of my team, or we are a team. They contact me. They want to come and work with me. I haven't had to chase anybody to get them on board. We may have a conversation, and I may have let them into it, but the majority of people working with us, I wouldn't have thought that they'd have any complaints about how they're treated and what they've got. Yeah. Freedom and do whatever you want. Everyone drives a new car. You know, I think we've got 10 or 12 dual cabs now in our fleet.
This is a pitch now. We're putting a pitch out there. Opportunity.
They're lining up already. They're
actually out the front. Oh, jeez.
No, all the guys that I've got, I haven't advertised.
Yeah, no.
I haven't used a recruitment agency.
But I think it's part of your energy. Like, you're just like before him, you were saying, like, you're just a happy person. Like, your energy. Like, I think when you've got that positive, like, energy, it attracts people.
It attracts people. Yeah. It's contagious, man. You want to walk around being miserable all day, man, nobody's going to want to talk to you. You know, put a smile on your face and put positive energy out there, people want to talk to you. People want to know your story. People want to know what journey you've been on, what it's taken to get here. And you can make it sound as easy as you want. Yeah. Or you can tell them the grind that you had to go through, but nobody wants to hear that.
But I think it's also just caring about people, like actually showing an interest in like your team and your staff, like, and not treating it like just a job.
It's not a job. There's one thing that, you know, pisses me off to high heaven is when people say my worker. That's my worker. But it's not your worker. You don't own that person. That person did two things. He needs to work because he or she needs to work because they need to put food on the table. But you still want them to want to work with you.
Yeah.
You want them to feel that they're part of something that you're building. I mean, people can think this is bullshit as much as they want. It's not. It works. I'll put my hand up and say this is it. You treat people the way you want to be treated. You treat people with respect. You know, you give them a little bit. There's a give and take. You have to have that.
Yeah. One of the best things I heard on the podcast was from Jim Lee from the Fleet Office, and he spun it the other way. So he said every week he owes his employees until they get paid. And so it's not like they owe him and then they're working for him. It's like, I owe you because you're working with me. Like,
I like it.
And it's so until payday comes, then you're back again. You owe them again. And so it when you think of it like that, it's almost like, you're so happy that you have the opportunity to have people to be as part of your journey. And I think that's
I like it.
That's a special sort of way to think of it.
Yeah, I'll take my hat off to that. That's great. You do need to. Thinking that way is the way to go.
What about the Hire Show? We're here today. You're actually the first interview, so you're actually a little bit of a backstory for the listeners. So we actually had someone else booked in to come in, and then I sent a message out. In 30 minutes, Jamie said, "Yep, I'll be there."
Actually, I think I responded. You go, "What are you doing tomorrow?" And I said, "Catching up with you."
Oh, gee, I really appreciate you filling in, but.
That's all right. I don't mind being a fill-in market.
Well, I think there's only a couple of people that have had a couple of goes to the podcast. So you're on the special list, mate, of
I'm definitely special.
double episodes. But so we're at the Hire convention today in Adelaide. So how many Hire conventions have you been to with HRA?
I reckon I've been probably half a dozen.
And what's your typical goal that you're trying to get?
Networking. Saying hello to people. It's a good place to catch up with everyone. That's all it is. Yeah, you walk around, you look at the stands. Last year we bought some stuff off a few stands and met some new suppliers. Obviously we had just acquired CitiWest at the last one. I think we acquired a CitiWest in March, and I reckon that was in May in the Gold Coast. Yeah, so we met a few suppliers and we ordered some equipment there. But it's more just saying hello to everyone and just staying sort of in the mix with your peers, or I might say competitors, because I don't see anyone as a competitor.
No. Yeah, it is a strange thing with the hire industry, isn't it? Everyone's sort of like the sub-hire model, like really counteracts that whole.
You get more by being friends with people than what you do. I'm not here to attack anyone or challenge them, or I don't want to have a rate war.
Yeah.
I think that's just stupid.
Except if it's $23 a day, then.
Mate, you can have it. Keep it, mate. I'll stay home in bed for $23. I don't ever waste my time.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the phone call. It's a joke.
So I think a lot of people, they don't actually know how to network. Like, I know that sounds pretty silly, but like when you peel it back, I feel like a lot of new people to the industry will just walk around the trade show and see the booths, and then they'll just leave. Where you mentioned that it's really about networking with people. So like,
all it's about.
So what to you, like, what is networking?
Talking to people. You don't need to hide. Just say it as it is.
And people open up more when you.
100% they open up. Well, to me they do. I think they believe that when I say something, I'm not just painting a picture. That's it. It is what it is. There's no grey. It's black or white.
Yeah, I wonder, like, maybe people are more introverted, maybe they get a bit nervous, maybe they get shy. I don't know. I think there's still that element, like, you've just got that energy. Like, how many people walk into someone's business and go, "Are you for sale?" So, yeah, I think there needs to almost be, like, education on, like schooling on how to actually attend these sort of events. Because...
So when are we starting that school?
You and I started it.
I'll shoot off the rental gentlemen.
No, but do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of people aren't like privy to actually how to attend these sort of events and what the purpose is of networking. Because like, you can't just go in there and throw, like, me personally, I'm really bad at small talk. I don't like small talking.
I would never have noticed.
I'm really bad at small talking, and like I only like having like proper conversations. And if I don't, then I typically just leave. And I feel like most
So the half an hour we were talking shit before we started this, what was that?
yeah, but with that, like we were like catching up in general. Like I don't really like I wasn't asking you like how was the drive in and what's the weather like and all that, like that's not networking. Like you're not going to learn. Like networking is actually asking people real questions. Like
Yeah, but it gets to that. You got to start somewhere.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe it's just a me thing. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are in that same
I
boat.
probably could have write a list. I probably couldn't tell you how to do it. You'd probably have to sit there taking notes when I do it.
Yeah, no, it's they were worth attending. I actually have a very embarrassing story, and I know that you in particular are going to really like this story. And I can't believe I'm actually going to tell this story in front of so many people. I wasn't actually planning this, but so I was at the hire convention in Gold Coast a few years ago, like probably like 5 years ago or something, and I was with I think I was with Mac and X, and we were drinking after hours sort of event, not at the actual HRA like party or
that
whatever.
sort of stuff doesn't usually happen at these events. People don't go out drinking afterwards.
Yeah, it's all clean, yeah. Just waters, mate. Just waters. And so I was just drinking whatever, and one thing led to another, and we're out to like sort of 3-4 in the morning.
It's very unusual.
Yeah, exactly. Now this is where it gets a bit weird. So I was staying at Jupiter's on the Gold Coast, and I went back to my room, and I had to be up at like 7 in the morning, so I didn't really get that much sleep. And I walked into my my hotel room in Jupiter's, and I remember I got down to my jocks, got in bed, turned the TV on. I just wanted to like watch a bit of TV before I went to sleep, and I sort of just passed out. Like I don't even remember like what I was watching. And then I woke up. It was like I teleported. I woke up in my jocks in the elevator. Like I slept walked
Wow.
to the elevator in my jocks.
That's one of the best ones I've heard.
Yeah? Anyway, this is where it gets much worse. So I was staying at Jupiter's, and so they've got like a pretty strong security thing.
Yeah.
I didn't have my tag. I didn't have my key.
Oh, no.
I didn't have a phone. I didn't have a wallet. I was literally in my underwear. At 4 in the morning or whatever time it was, 4:30. And so I was pressing my level to like maybe go back to another room and like knock on someone's door or something just to sort of help me. I was in the lift. I was stuck. The only level I could go to was ground. Yeah. So here I am in my underwear at 4:30 in the morning in the casino elevator.
Wow.
And so I go down to the ground, and then it's pretty early in the morning. I'm still a bit drunk, and so I don't know where reception is. I walk through the gaming section of Jupiter's in my underwear, and security chase after me. And then they walk me back to the reception, and I remember the lady was just like sitting there typing away, doing something on the desk, and then she just looked up and just saw me, this 6'5", tall, big white guy walk up in his underwear. And like there's obviously people around gambling and stuff, and I'm just standing there, and I explained to her what's happened, and she's just thinking that I'm making the whole thing up, really, because it's just like it's a drunk guy in the casino.
Yeah.
So then I told her I'm staying in room whatever it is. Here's my room number. The room was booked by someone else, so it wasn't even my name. I didn't even have my name on the room. Oh, no. So then, like, luckily they were kind enough, and they gave me a rope, and they ended up and they ended up putting me in the room, and I went back up there, and I went to the show the next day, and I told one person, and then everyone found out. Every single person found out. So when I came here and I saw the casino was next door, I was like, all right, I need to avoid that place. I need to avoid that place.
I've got a funny story for you. I'm pretty sure it was a HRIA. It's probably about, it was quite a few years ago now. Might have been 6-7 years ago. We're on the Gold Coast, and we had the show during the day, and I was with a whole group of people with Kennards. I'm not going to mention any names, and one particular big guy that used to be at Kennards, and we were drinking all night, It's about 3 in the morning, and he's like, "Come, boys, let's go get something to eat." So we go down Cavalab, we go to Macca's. He goes, "Come, Junior, come with me." We go to the counter, and he goes, "I want to order 100 cheeseburgers." And the guy just looks at him and he goes, "I can't give you 100 cheeseburgers." He goes, "Here's my credit card. I want to order 100 cheeseburgers." The guy goes, "I'm not going to give you 100 cheeseburgers." He goes, "Why not? I want to pay for 100 cheeseburgers. I've got 700 hungry blokes at the front. Everybody wants to eat. I want 100 cheeseburgers." The guy goes, "I'm not going to give you 100 cheeseburgers." He goes, "All right, give me 50 then." He goes, "All right, I'll give you 50. He pays for the cheeseburgers. I go, "We'll be at the front." He comes out with bags full of cheeseburgers. We start eating cheeseburgers. Smashing cheeseburgers. We got through about 25 of them, I reckon. There's 25
Oh
left.
my God.
Like, what do we do now? He goes, "This is easy, son. Watch. Here, you want a cheeseburger?" Man. These sorts of things.
I think that person listens to this podcast, so they would.
He may have actually been on this podcast.
You're really narrowing down who this person is. We're sorry. You've been thrown under the bus.
Oh man, that story got out too. Everyone loved it. Like, "How do you order 100 cheeseburgers?" So it was funny. Not long after that, I had a couple of crews installing barriers on a night install. I was working for RSCA at the time, and I had about 25 blokes on the road installing barrier. We're doing steel barrier down the Tulla Freeway, and I'd gone home and gone to bed early the night before because I had a couple of big days. But I woke up about 4 a.m. and I knew they were on the road till 5:30. So I've jumped out of bed, I've had a shower, got dressed and jumped in my car. I've called the local Macca's on my way and I've said, "Hey, I want to come past them. I want 25 bacon and egg meals."
What's with you guys are ordering large sums of burgers?
And they go, "Are you serious?" I go, "Yeah." I go, "Do you want me to give you my credit card now? I'm going to be there in 20 minutes to pick them up. I need to go feed everyone on site." They're like, "Are you serious?" I go, "Man, I'll give you my credit card. Just charge it credit card." So I get there. I've got boxes of bacon and egg meals. The guy goes to me, "Well, you're fair income, aren't you?" And I said, "Yeah, man. I've got people working on the road. I need to go feed them breakfast."
Oh, that's the sort of boss you need, mate. Someone to come out with bacon and egg. That's awesome. Wow. So look, one thing that came out of your first podcast that a lot of people related to was how transparent and open you were around the mental health side. Like, not many people are that clear and honest, especially on a podcast with a lot of people listening to it at once. So is that something that like you're continually working on and making sure that you're sort of front of mind and not, because I still remember when you told me that story where I couldn't get off the couch. So where are you sort of at that?
But everyone has bad days. You've got to be conscious. It's like it's real. It's not. Yeah, big tough men will tell you, "It's bullshit. I'm strong. I can do whatever." I'm like, "No, you can't. There's certain things you can't control. Your emotions, your heart, your brain. Once they take over, you know, and it's not about being strong. I don't know how to explain it, but you got to be conscious of these things. You're going to have your days that you're down. You're going to have people that you can talk to. Pick up the phone and just have a chat. You know, certain people will ring in and check in on me all the time.
Yeah, do you reckon most people, when they do have those down days, they just like try and hide it?
They try and hide it, yeah, of course they do. But if you're having these conversations on your good days, then having them on your bad days it's just something you do, and you will just keep doing it. And you do. Everyone's got someone that they can call, and I know who's not going to judge them. Yeah. There are going to be people that will, so you just don't talk to those people and you limit yourself on what you do tell them because they will use it against you. For me personally, I don't give a shit what anyone thinks. I'll say it as it is. And if you don't like it, that's your loss. I know who I am. I know where I've been. I know where I've come from. I've come from nothing. Now I've got something. You know, that hasn't changed me as a person. It's actually given me more confidence to be able to go and say what I think, what I feel, talk about whatever I want to talk about. You know, I might be ringing you to ask you how you're going because I know you're having a bad day, but I'm just as much doing that for me.
Yeah.
Because we will have that conversation and you will tell me about yours, but I'll also be able to tell you about mine.
Yeah.
You know, I think last year in September we jumped on board with Beyond Blue. Yeah, so we're regularly doing stuff with Beyond Blue now. You know, I was wearing my wristband for 6 months. I took it off because it got a bit cheesy. I've got to get some new ones, but you know, that's a conversation starter. Wearing that wristband, people go, "Oh, you're part of Beyond Blue." Actually, yeah, I am part of Beyond Blue, and actually part of a lot of other charities that we're dealing with at the moment. Don't know whether this is the time or place or not. I'm actually setting up my own charity at the moment as we speak. It's not around mental health, it's more about feeding the homeless and all that type of stuff. So hopefully towards the start of next year, I'll have a big launch on that. But it's just something, you know, I've been out doing a lot of that work with the local churches, feeding the homeless. I think I've done it probably 10 times this year. You know, it's not necessarily a monetary thing. You know, we've got people that cook meals and we go and we hand them out. We've got certain places that we go to and we hand them out. You get to know these people. These people just want to have a chat. They're no different to you or me. The only difference is their circumstances. You know, you take them a hot meal. I think last time I took 100 hot meals out and sat there for an hour and a half. And you know what? It's challenging mentally on me too. You leave there and you feel drained because it's like everyone's just sucked the life out of you, because you know what? You are that positive person. You are that standing there and you're seeing all this stuff around you. It's not nice to look at. You know, actually, I had my daughter say to me, "Dad, I want to come with you." And I said, "Sweetheart, you need a few more years. If I struggle with it, a 9-year-old's not going to cope with it."
What drove you to start the charity?
Going and seeing, so I saw there's a company out there called Orange Sky, and they've gone and I love what they've done. They've built vans, and they're like little laundries and showers, and they'll work 6 nights a week. They go to certain spots, designated spots, and they just sit there and the homeless will come, they can wash their clothes, have a shower, have a wash, and go. And they're self-contained vans, they're Mercedes vans. And I looked at it and I thought it's a great idea, and it's something that I could use my business that's doing well to support, to be able to create something, to be able to help people. Now, obviously there's government grants and there's other things in the background that will all play a part in it, but I think initially you need to be able to provide the first steps. I have registered a charity, there is a name, and now I've got 2 accountants working on how it all gets structured and how it works, and I will be, when it comes time, I will be asking people to jump on board. And you know, it is going to be non-for-profit. It is going to be there to help people. That's the idea. But you know what? It makes me feel good. Above everything else, it makes me feel good. You give something back. You try and help people where you can. I mean, don't get me wrong. We sponsor sporting clubs. We sponsor church groups. I think we're up to about 18 this year that we're sponsoring. And again, if we couldn't do it, we wouldn't. But we can, so why not? We don't necessarily get anything out of it. We don't. The majority, we get nothing out of it. But
just giving back to the community.
If it helps the local junior clubs and it helps them, they're all struggling. They don't have anything. The local government council gives them bugger all. They don't give them a lot. You know, we give them a little bit of money. We donate lot towels every now and again. We donate message boards to promote things. You know, I might pay for the meat for the spit every now and again. You know, the president might ring me and, you know, we need to order 20 kilos of meat, and no problem, just go to this butcher and I'll sort it out with him. Whatever you can do to help out, man. It's all part of making yourself feel good about just life in general.
Yeah, just being part of the community.
It's all positive, man. It's all. There's nothing negative about.
And I think when you do those good things, it's like for me, I always use the analogy, I hate receiving presents, but I love giving presents. I don't like the feeling of receiving. I don't know what it is. It's like the opening and the pressure of opening. Maybe that's part of my small talk anxiety. but the feeling of giving a present, it's an amazing feeling. And so giving to the community and giving back, I think, just adds to that energy that you're getting. And I sort of believe in good karma. Like the more you put out there, the more it's coming back. 100%.
And I agree with you 100% what you just said. I don't really receive much. People don't buy me presents. You know, and I often hear people say, what do you buy the person that's got everything? Well, you know what you buy the person that's got everything? The simplest thing that nobody else would ever think about. I had a friend come to see me the other day, and she brought me a toiletries bag. Might have cost her $10 from Target. But it's simple. I don't have one.
My wife and I were talking about this exact topic the other day. So we were saying that like people spend all this money on like big presents that people don't really care about, and it's just a thing that's there. Yeah. So my mum's gonna love this story. Podcast. So my mum, I don't know how she found out, but she found out that our dinner chairs on the tiles, they squeak when you open and close them.
Yeah.
Or when you push and pull them.
Yeah.
And we've got a newborn, and so whenever you do it, it can wake him up.
Yeah.
And so she bought these bottoms for the feet.
Yes.
And I went over to her house the other day, and then she just randomly gave it to me, and I was like, "What the fuck are these? Why are you giving me these for?" And I went home and I just chucked them on the table, and then my wife was like, "Oh yeah, we'll put them on the chairs." Put them on there. It changed our lives. Like, you know what I mean? Those little things, like, people underestimate what those little things can actually do in terms of just making your life better. So that toiletry bag, like, it just, the simple things.
Mate, you get sick of hearing, like, yeah, he's got expensive taste, you know, and he's got good things, and who cares? Who cares? I'll appreciate. I've got other friends of mine that, especially now, you know, I'm living alone, and they regularly cook for me. And if I'm not there for dinner, they'll bring me dinner. Like,
yeah, that's
it's
awesome.
small things like that, you know. It doesn't need to be, you know, going and buying expensive clothes or expensive jewelry or whatever. It's little things, man. It's little things that you appreciate. People thinking of you. You know, you give, and it makes me feel good that I give, but then I don't get back, so it doesn't matter. But when somebody goes and does the smallest things, it means they thought about you.
Yeah.
And you've obviously left an impression or a mark somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
Or you meet someone and you're having a conversation, and they say to you, "Oh, do you remember what you said to me 6 months ago?" "I don't remember what I had for breakfast." "Oh, you said this." Like, okay, I must have really left an impression there.
Yeah, it's amazing how that works, isn't it? It's amazing those little one-liners that people recognise and can, like, it's the power of words is quite amazing. It can go both ways.
Yeah.
But the power of words, like when someone's having a bad day, like I remember I was talking to someone on the podcast about, from the UK, and he said he was driving home from work and he had like the shittest week and he was just real upset. And then his phone rang and it was the CEO. And this guy was pretty junior in the organisation at the time. And he was looking at his phone ringing and he was thinking about whether he wanted to answer the phone or not. He's like, "Oh, here we go, just another thing, another thing." And then he ended up answering it. And then he was expecting to get blasted or something, like, "Can you go pick this up or do a delivery," or whatever it is. And then the CEO would just said, "Oh, I just want to thank you for doing a great job." And that was it.
Yeah.
And he was like, that shit week just got completely erased. Like, those little things, like those little one-liners.
Mate, I'm the king of ringing people just to say good morning or hello. What are you ringing for? Just to say hello.
That's
Oh, really? Mate, do it, man. It takes 10 seconds of your day to brighten up someone else's.
Yeah.
You thought about that person. What do you want? I'm not ringing because I want or need anything, man. I'm ringing to say hello. That's all I called for.
Yeah.
If you're busy, we can talk later. No drama. See you later.
You know who's pretty good at that as well? Flash.
Ease.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
My legend, Flash.
Everyone's going to be like, "What the hell are they talking about, Flash?"
Doesn't matter. Flash knows what we're talking about. Don't worry about anyone else thinks.
Nah.
He's brilliant like that.
Yeah.
He's really good, man. He's done so well as well.
Oh, he's a legend. You said you were supporting sporting clubs. Is this soccer or what do you?
Yeah, so we've got soccer, football, maybe a cricket club somewhere in the mix.
Do you follow the Premier League at all?
No, not really.
I'm not sure if you saw what happened the other night with Man City winning the league in the last 5 minutes of the game. Is absolutely ridiculous.
No, I didn't see it, but
You should check it out.
I'll jump on YouTube later.
You should check it out. It's unbelievable.
Send me the link later.
I will. But no, it's good. So is that particular sports that you're associated with? Or?
So look, initially the junior soccer club that I sponsor is where I met my best friend. We've been mates for 32 years. So yeah, he doesn't have a lot of. He's got sponsors on board, but it's tough going. Western Suburbs Club, always struggling.
Yeah, those small, especially during COVID, I think a lot of those small clubs really got hurt.
I'm surprised they're still around.
Because a lot of them had to give refunds for the registrations, and they made no money.
Yeah.
That year.
Oh, I think this year they're doing okay. This year finally they got some money in the bank. It's going good.
No, it's good that I love that you've got a smallish to medium hire business. Like, you've got a group of them really, but like you give back and you're not willing just to look at the bottom line and just focus on that.
Nah. You get stuck doing that, mate, you're not going to ever move forward.
Yeah. I think we need to start like a side business where we teach people, mate.
My auntie said to me about 4 years ago, you need to be a public speaker, you should be a motivational speaker, I reckon you'd be good at it. I can't think of anything worse. We're getting up and standing in front of 1,000 people.
That's so funny, but you walk into someone's business and you tell them, hey, is this for sale? But you're not comfortable in talking to a big room of people? Like,
imagine me walking in as a Jordan Belfort. Sell me this pen.
just without all the criminal activity.
Sell me this pen.
So what is it about big rooms that you don't like? What's the...
I just don't know. I don't know. Maybe I could do it now. I don't think it's anything that I could have done in the past.
So should I talk to the HRA and organise for them to call you on stage on Thursday night?
Whatever you want. What you see is what you get. It's either going to work or it's not.
Yeah.
You'll see, if I'm standing up there and I'm sweating bullets, man, it ain't working.
Yeah.
Just push me off the side.
Dim the lights, guys.
Get it closed.
Is there other things that you reckon you're working on at the moment? Like, is there, like you're so positive, but there's obviously things that you do struggle with as well. Like, is there anything at the moment that you're sort of working through? Like, if you could sort of give advice to yourself, I guess, on things that you want to sort of work on, like what do you reckon is there?
I don't know. Now you got me on the spot. I don't know. Couldn't answer that right now.
It seems like a bit of a deep question.
Yeah, there's a bit there. There's always a bit going on.
Oh, it's all right.
I'll tell you what has worked really well. Though, getting up and just walking along the beach every morning just clears my head. Going for an hour walk every morning. I've been doing it ever since I moved to the beach. It's been the best thing. We've signed a heads of agreement on a 7,000 square metre property. Actually just got a response about just before we started, saying that they've received it, they're looking at it, it's looking good. Hopefully we'll sign a lease in the next couple of weeks. Basically we'll move. So now I don't know, we've got a bit sidetracked. So now we've got 3 sites. We're Point Cook, Williamstown and Carrum Downs. We're probably going to close Williamstown and Point Cook and make one big site. We'll keep Carrum Downs because it's still our southeast. Yeah. And then by having everybody in one spot under one roof, be able to run a lot better.
What happens with the branding?
No, it's all CitiWest.
Okay.
It's all CitiWest.
So Mr. Traffic is going to go under that site as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so it'll be like 2 businesses on one premise sort of thing?
No, it's one business.
It is, but I mean from a brand standpoint. Like.
Yeah, no, we actually don't have Mr. Traffic branding anymore.
Oh.
So if you have a look at my logo, it'll say CitiWest Rentals and it'll say 1300 Mr. Traffic.
Ah, okay.
So Mr. Traffic's gone. All of our vehicles just say CitiWest Rentals on them now.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. All right.
So the Mr. Traffic is there, but it's in the phone number, just so that you know that they're both tied in.
Yeah.
But that's it. We're running with the CitiWest. It's a general hire business.
Yeah.
The traffic side's a bit bigger than the general, but we will grow the general.
Yeah.
And make it.
And then that's, I'm assuming, because you don't want to box yourself into just being a specialist.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
No, I want to be a general hire business. I mean, I'm good at that as well. I enjoy that. I enjoy all the hand tools. I enjoy all the little excavators and the dingoes and the bobcats and trailer hire. It's all good fun. I'm very lucky because I'm good at what I do and I really enjoy what I do. And if I had to go and stand behind the counter for 10 hours a day and serve customers, I wouldn't have an issue doing that.
Yeah.
It's just I'm at a point now where I don't have to. I can sit in my office and just punch out emails and quotes and whatever else. Do tenders and all that fun stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Right, yeah.
So what's the process of moving the sites? Is that that sounds like a bit of a...
Yeah, it's going to be big. It's probably a big... So look, I've done it before. I did it before when I was at Kennards. It was a big job. Like I literally went to a vacant site. I had to put the signage up. I did the whole lot. Renovate it. Put down a heap of concrete. Organise contractors, trades, alarms, security, all of that.
It must give you energy as well, but to be like doing, it's like setting up that new site, like it's exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff. It's like good problems to have.
It is, definitely. Definitely looking forward to it. And like I said, looking forward to where the business will go once we do that. Because I'm pretty confident a little bit of CitiWest will drop off a bit. like all of our customers that live local that use us. We're only moving 5 minutes up the road.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. That's our next challenge.
That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Jamie. Well, thank you for coming on podcast number 2, mate.
Thank you very much, Mike. Thanks for having us. It's been good, and I'm sure we'll see you around the show.
Awesome.